The topic here is about failure, it being sort of inevitable. Everyone who I know who's gone through the process of getting licensed has failed at least one exam, some people multiple exams, some people multiple exams multiple times. I know I failed along my road to get licensed. I guess I'm curious, what is your thoughts about sort of handling it and how to handle it as you sort of
Sure.
encounter it?
Well, I mean, I think the key is to understand what failure is, right? Because I think a lot of people, or some people, may interpret failure as not being good. But I think it's important to take a different perspective of it and understand that failure can be a good thing, because we all fail all the time at many things, not just the AREs. And I did take 4 exams right out of the gate. I passed all 4, and then I took a 5th one and I failed it. And so it's really about going back and just assessing where you went wrong and identifying the weak spots. I think it's basically what I told anyone else that has failed in our cohort and other people I know. Hey, there's nothing. It's not a judgment. It's not a looking down on anyone if they fail. It's just chin up, it's study and take it again, right? That's all we can do. No different than learning how to ride a bicycle. My daughter fell 10 times before she stayed on. And it's just get back up, get back on it, and do it again. Interesting for me, it was good from a perspective of being a dad of 3 kids, 2, 1 in high school, 1 in middle school, and 1 in grade school. When I gave them the news that I failed, I think they were more sad than I was, because my daughter's, she looked at me, it's like, but Dad, you studied so hard. And I said,
That's
yeah,
so sweet.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
It just means I need to study a little bit harder. But it's not a bad thing, right? I identify the issues, and it's okay. You just move on. So you get up, you dust off, and then you do it again. So it's failure it's inevitable for everyone. So no need to look down on yourself. Just do it again. It's okay.
That's awesome. Like, what a great life lesson to, especially being someone who's a family. What a great life lesson to teach your kids, for them to watch you, try really hard at something and fail.
Yeah.
And what a great lesson that is for them, as they sort of look into the future. Dawn, I'm curious what your thoughts are here, and what your experience has been around sort of, dealing with, getting tripped up on one of the exams.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I did not take failure very well.
Yeah.
I did not. I'll admit that myself right now. Taking the earlier exams when they had the vignette sections, which I'm so excited those are gone.
Yeah,
But taking that part, it really hit my confidence, because I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I do this every day. And I know what I'm doing. Why can't I pass these exams? And in the beginning, I took it personally. I'm like, well, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this isn't the field for me. And I went down that path for a few years. I completely stopped everything in the area of architecture. I still went to work, but I had to really pull myself back together and remember why I wanted to get into this industry in the first place, and what this license meant to the good I wanted to do in the world. And I really had to shift my mindset. And watching my son, he's in school, he's in college now for engineering, but he had this mindset, like, I'm going to be an engineer. And he maintained that no matter what happened. And he was so committed to it, no matter, what was going on in his life. He always came back, I want to be an engineer. I want to be an engineer. And he did it. And just watching him maintain his, kind of his internal GPS system of what he wanted to do, it reminded me to get back in there and accomplish the goal I desired to accomplish. And if you fail an exam, get the information that you needed from what happened, take that to help you pass it the next time. And that's the shift that I had to make. I'm like, this is not failing you personally as an individual, as a person who has all this experience. You just failed this test. and I had to disconnect the test failure from me as a person failing. And I think a lot of people in this industry, there is a lot of pressure and there is
Sure.
competition. And as a female in this industry, there isn't a lot of us a lot of the time at the table. So
Mhm.
you put all this pressure on you to compete and to feel relevant in the industry, but you really have to separate yourself from that and recognize you are studying to take an exam. You are not studying to prove that you're worthy. And that was a big thing for
Ah,
me to shift and do. And once I made that shift, I started passing the exam. It started to make sense. It started to click. So all those failures in the beginning, they were kind of necessary for me to get to this point where I shifted and saw, Dawn, this is not about you personally being,
yeah.
creditable and worthy and good enough. It's just you're passing an exam so you can get to the next level. So
Yeah,
that was a
that's
big
really
shift for me.
really powerful. It's not about your worthiness.
Mhm.
It's not try to disconnect your person and the results. That's
Yeah,
such an awesome thought,
absolutely.
and so cool. Again, like how awesome that as the adult and the parent that we all have something to teach, but also something to learn from our kids.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's really awesome. Trying to think if there's anything else here. I just know that like so many people, we hear it all the time. Somebody fails a test and they're like, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. This is
Yeah.
stupid. Or as you say, they take it personal. It's funny. And we've been doing all this work with NCARB to try to understand all the intricacies of how the test works. And they always remind us, remember, we're not testing for like expert level knowledge. We're just testing for minimum competence, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so to your point, like even that idea suggests that this has nothing to do with like how good of an architect you are. That's something that Mike Newman often talks about, right?
Right.
This
Yeah,
this
he
isn't
does.
about architecture. This isn't about design. Think of this as just a puzzle that you have to basically learn how to solve. It's sort of like this abstract thing that you have to figure out how to tackle or beat, I guess.